Oh, come on, you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of The Spooky Show. Where's Vivian? I can hear you all asking. Well, we could always do like that bit in Spartacus, couldn't we? I'm Vivian.
I'm Vivian.
I'm Vivian.
See, we're all Vivian. And good evening, Simon's arrived. Hello, Simon, my dear boy. It's lovely to see you. As it is, Vivian, poor girl, is not very well. So you've got us three instead. And what are we going to be talking about? I've got no idea, really. We're just going to make it up as we go along. So, what's been happening to you in the last week or so, Lee? Anything jolly?
Oh, no, not particularly. Went to the theatre, helped some people with. I'm Vivian, so is my wife. So Nico.
Right on, Nico. I was wondering who'd pick up on a Life of Brian joke.
I don't know really. Went to see my mother and my father. Yeah, a bit boring, this week, but never mind. I wanted to ask you, whilst we're on it as a threesome.
This is the first time we've had a threesome live on air, isn't it, kiddies?
Rumours.
Yes.
Yeah, but then again, we do know a Bigfoot expert who promises that he's the top.
Indeed, we do.
We'll have to tell that story later. Carry on, Lee. I'm sorry.
Is there a Mrs. Bigfoot?
Yeah.
I mean, there must be two of them.
Well, well, if you look at the famous Bluff Creek film from 1967, you know, the one with it running across the screen, that figure has great big tits. So, yes, I think there's enough evidence that if there is a Bigfoot, they are sexually dimorphic.
See.
Anyway, sorry, you were going to ask us. Is that the question you were going to ask?
Well, I was just going to look up what sexually dimorphic meant, but I presume he means same as a snail.
No, exactly the opposite to that. Sexually oh, for fuck's sake, you can't get the staff anymore, can you? Jesus Christ! No wonder the standard of the British chat show's gone downhill.
Oh, thanks.
Just we have, but luckily we have Isabel, so everything will be fine.
I can keep the calm.
Sexually dimorphic means when the two genders, male and female, and I'm not talking about all the other 37 different genders that people can be or claim to be. Like there was somebody I was seeing online the other day was claiming to be a two-spirit penguin, which I'm not quite sure what that means. But let's assume for the moment that there are two biological genders, and sexually dimorphic is when you can tell the difference between them just by looking at them.
Ah,
Humans are sexually dimorphic. Vive la différence, because you can tell most of the time the difference. You can tell the difference between a male and a female by looking at them.
did you know that Doctor Who has a companion that's a penguin? You mentioned penguins. It's a talking penguin called Frobisher.
What
Mm.
the now,
I
is
didn't
this
know.
just some sort of weird shit you've just made up, or is this true?
No, look it up. Look it up. Doctor Who has a talk in the Big Finish audios. He has a talking penguin called Frobisher.
And that's completely and utterly thrown me. That
There we are. That's Frobisher.
oh
Oh,
good God! So Isabel, moving
yes.
swiftly on, what have you been doing this last week?
What have I been doing this last week? Well, I've been trying to get better, and then I've been trying to return to my normal stuff, whatever normal is, and try and get back in the swing of life again.
Well, like Morrissey sang on a song about 20 years ago, there is no such thing in life as
No,
normal.
exactly.
And by the way, everybody, the new Morrissey album came out on Friday and it's fucking excellent. I really recommend it to everyone. We've had some really good new music this year.
Hmm?
And here we have Nico says he knows Frobisher.
Oh,
Yep.
And Simon says, would a two-spirit penguin then be a gender non-conforming person whose totem animal is a penguin?
hmm.
The answer to that, Simon, my dear, is fuck knows. I've got no idea. I have no idea whatsoever. But Simon did send in a thing just now because I've got an update for this.
Oh,
How interesting it's. Oh, no, it wasn't. It was the wrong one. Sorry. Simon sent a thing about the new episode of On the Track Extra, which was out this evening, about how there have been more sightings of a supposedly extinct butterfly called the large tortoiseshell in Britain. Well, as of Monday, Simon, Butterfly Conservation, the big charity, have done what I've been trying to get them to do for the last 15 years, and they've finally admitted that it is no longer extinct in Britain. It is now a resident breeding species once again for the first time since the 50s. So that's really exciting news, I think.
it's
Do we have a
amazing.
picture of what this butterfly looks like so people can spot it?
Uh, yes, but I don't know how to share the screen, so hang on. Oh, what the hell's that? It was a good idea, but I don't know how to do it, so um, I don't know. It would be nice if I could, but I can't work out how to do it, mate. So it was a very good idea, but how the hell do I do it?
I do
Yeah,
occasionally.
I've done it. I found it. Okay, I think. Do I share screen? Yes, I can share a screen. Okay. Talk amongst yourselves, and I will.
You'll
I
find it.
saw a raven the other day perched on my wall, which was
Oh,
very cool.
absolutely.
I thought that was fascinating. I was really impressed with that picture you sent me.
Absolutely bloody huge it was.
Oh, they're bloody enormous. Everybody thinks that they're getting the same sort of size as rooks or crows. They're not. They're much bigger.
Well, I like magpies. I know a lot of people don't like them, but I like magpies,
Yeah,
and
so do
I think they're very pretty. I think they're kind of the penguin of the flighted bird world because the tuxedo look. But I get, it's much bigger than a magpie.
Mm-hmm.
Much bigger, like huge.
And
So,
that, can
Yeah.
you see that, everybody?
oh
Yeah.
wow! Oh,
Have I shared it? Yes, I have. That
Yes.
is a large tortoiseshell. It
Oh.
has never been very common in Britain, and it had, for various reasons, it had a big population collapse just before the First World War, and it was beginning to slowly get better again until along came Dutch elm disease in the
Ah.
50s,
oh,
and that, and as their biggest what's the word? Their biggest food source was um, elms. And I'm trying to work out, how do I stop screen? Yes,
there
that's
we
There.
it.
go. Fantastic.
I'm still finding my way around working out how to use this, but
Ah. You're doing well.
they hadn't been recognised as a breeding species in Britain since the 50s, and they were finally declared extinct about 20 years ago. And for the last 20 years, there have been reports that they've bred. There's even been photographs of the big, because they built their cattle as little big nests, big web nests in trees. And there's been film and photographs shown of these things. And this year, so far, there's been 65, as of Monday, there were 65 reports this year. And they finally decided, yes, they are indeed a breeding species, which is nice.
How big are they?
About the size of a large cabbage white.
Wow. Okay.
Well, they're not enormous, but
Fair
that's,
size.
that's
Yes. Yeah.
which I think is really great news.
Yeah.
It is. It's actually I've got a friend called Piers who is a ecologist, and he'll be really pleased because he actually studies insects. He did his. He's got a PhD. He's got a doctorate, which he did studying dung beetles.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. He
My
went.
mate, my
He went.
mate Max, who's an adopted nephew of mine, he got his doctorate studying a type of close relative to the dung beetle, a thing called the rosy chafer. No, the noble chafer, which is a very rare species of beetle in southern England.
Okay.
Oh, that's cool. It's funny that we both know people who are doctors of insects.
Yes. He actually did it about. I think it was a decomposition of dung, but it was very much used the what's it? I don't know what this is supposed to
Okay,
mean.
what do you mean?
Nothing to
Hang on,
say,
Lee.
really.
What the fuck do you mean by going ooh, ooh, decomposition of the what's it?
I don't know. It's like a hand gesture thing.
Yeah,
It's
but okay, so he's done his doctorate on the decomposition of your hand gestures.
no, cow dung it is, yeah. And
Does everybody know what the fuck's happening?
I
I'm a
don't-
bit confused.
so Jonathan,
See, I told you we could do a show just as well without Vivian as we could with her. We've already within about 10 minutes, 14 minutes in, and we're talking as much convoluted bollocks as we usually do with dear Vivian. So now, order your thoughts, because I'm interested in this. He did his doctorate on the decomposition of
cow dungs, I believe. I will ask him. Hold on. Give me a second. I can bring him up and ask him.
We could always get him on the show. I mean, that'd be quite interesting. Talk to him about insects. Max has got this great chat up line. He's got a girlfriend now, lovely young lady. But before he used to go up and say, "People, hello, I'm a qualified." Girls at parties was, "Hello, I'm a qualified geneticist. Would you like me to unzip your genes?" And apparently, it never worked.
No, that's terrible.
You haven't met Max. That's pretty good for him. His chat up lines are not quite as bad as Louis, but
right. Okay.
I don't have chat up lines. I just go and talk to the person. Yeah, it just says university. He went to Oxford University, but I don't know which college it was.
my niece went to Oxford University and studied philosophy.
I did a master's in philosophy. Yeah. I was just thinking about spookiness while we're on the subject.
Says him changing the subject immediately to spookiness. Which just suits me because we are meant to be the spooky show.
We are the
after
spooky
all.
show.
So I was going to ask you, have you had any encounters with spirits or ghosts?
Me, yes. But Isabel, ladies first.
Oh, what? Sorry, Bufford.
Buffer to you as well.
Bufford. I didn't hear the question.
Isabel,
Yes,
have you had any encounters with spirits or ghosts?
I have.
Tell me about it.
Plenty. Plenty. My first recollection of ever having encountered a ghost or spirit was when I was about 10, and I could hear like footsteps going up and down the barn steps, and I thought, well, there's nobody up there. There's only me in in the where I was. And I thought, right, I'm going up to see what's going on. And there was just this figure of this lady kept going up and down the steps. And I was intrigued from there on in.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
I've seen orbs, I've seen ghosts at the end of the bed, which I know is stereotypical, but it was actually at the end of the bed. And
Okay, that was me.
oh
That was me. I got up to go. I'm a diabetic. I have to get up and go for a pee in the night. And just because I was going,
but yeah, I have. And recently I've been seeing a lot of orbs, and they're like the visualization of spirit, and that they're meant to be there in that format, and then they'll turn into the fully formed ghost at some point.
Do you get any feelings when you see these orbs?
I do. Some of them can make you mainly a lot of coldness, because I consider orbs to be like lost. They've not formed anything, and they're quite lost, so tend to be quite cold on the normal to me.
Yeah,
Um, but I do find them interesting,
well, they
and
are.
I find all things spirit related interesting. And
So,
and I've just seen your spooky cat walk
now, have
along
you just seen my spooky cat?
above
Yeah,
your
she's not
head.
very happy. I'm chatting and not playing with her tonight, so she's storming about. Is enough to say I should be paying her attention.
well, you should. Yeah.
I should, but I'm here talking about orbs, so
I think
she's not impressed.
yeah, with cats that they have to be the ruler and master, don't they?
Yes, and she's not getting her own way, so she's stomping about.
Yeah, they.
Simon says, oh, hang on.
Pardon?
Simon says,
Hmm?
Interesting story about the orbs. Most skeptics view them as specks of dust caught
That's
on
an
camera
done.
lenses, but some people do have weird encounters with them in person. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
I've seen them in person.
Mm.
I think the orbs that people catch on digital cameras are nothing more than dust on camera lenses mostly.
Mm.
But I've seen them once or twice in person. I used to work in this old tumble down mental hospital. And yes, I know this sounds like a beginning of a episode of the Twilight Zone. But it was called St Mary's Hospital. It was in Axminster, and I was the senior nurse on nights. And there were only three staff in the hospital, and there were about 40 patients still. And I was pootling along. I did the rounds between the various wards just to speak to the people who were on duty on the other wards. And going along one of the corridors, I saw this absolutely enormous bloody glowing orb of light for
Mm.
10 seconds and then it blinked out. I have no idea what it was. It wasn't trying to contact me or to give me a message. I think we were both just passing each other and at the same time in the same
Mm.
corridor. And Simon continues to say, Zelia Edgar of Just Another Tinfoil Hat fame is another 14 personality who has had weird, numinous encounters with light orbs that clearly
Mm.
weren't dust specks. Yeah, I think the photographs of dust specks have done a big disservice. A lot of these people who think that they've photographed orbs, I think it's done a great disservice to the subject. I
Oh.
was at a UFO convention in Blackpool in oh shit 2001, 2002, I don't know, something like that. And I spent the afternoon asleep in my hotel room. I came down to the evening's lectures, and this woman came rushing up to me, gushing, and said, "Oh, I took a picture of you earlier. It shows what a spiritual person you are because you were surrounded by orbs." And I said, "No, my dear, it proves that I've got dandruff." And then the whole evening was being. No, I won't tell that next story.
Oh, you
Uh,
Mhm.
can't
just
start
say something
something
Oh, you
incredibly
can't
good.
like
start.
that. Come
Okay,
on.
the evening was being curated by this Irish club comedian person, and when I came into the lecture theatre, I was limping on my walking stick and going in. Normally he said, "Oh, hello, sir. What have you been doing all day?" And I said, "Masturbating and taking drugs." And it went completely silent. Yeah, I
Well,
told you I
Just
shouldn't have
like
said
that.
it.
he did ask you, so it's his
Yeah.
fault, really, isn't it?
Of course. Always blame the Irish if you can. And here we have Simon again. Zelia talked about it in a lengthy interview for the Anomaly Archives a few years ago, interviewed by Stephen Miles Lewis. I didn't know you knew Smiles. Stephen Miles Lewis is a lovely, lovely man. And I did a lecture for him when I was last in Texas, and that was about 15 years ago. Absolutely sweet, beautiful man. And I was very, very impressed with the setup he's got there. He'd rented a industrial unit, which basically he kitted out as a library. And that's what I want to do down in Exeter when I can find an industrial unit that's within my price range. I'm going to rent one out so we can put all the CFZ books in there and actually have a library that might be open once a week or something with volunteers. So we've got a reference library, which will be a resource for researchers all over the place. And Simon says he is Facebook friends with Smiles Lewis. Smiles is a lovely, lovely, lovely man. So what else has been happening? Well, I don't know about you guys, but I've spent an awful lot of this week following the news of the events in Iran
Yes.
and getting more and more and more depressed about it all. But possibly not for all the same reasons as everybody else. Because I'm interested in Iran because it is the only place in the world where there are still Asiatic cheetahs living. There's only about 40 or 50 of them, I think, left. And the idea of the country becoming a battleground, because the problem is that as the rule of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, collapses, then it is likely to highlight the fault lines between the various different ethnic groups in Iran. And I think you're going to have some internal civil wars coming. And the idea of those happening in the middle of a place where there's only 40 of a species of animal left, I find that totally terrifying.
Mm.
But the whole thing in Iran is
It's pretty.
absolutely horrific. But I was watching a speech this afternoon, a live speech from His Majesty the Crown Prince, who intends, and he says that he will, as soon as it is safe, he will return to Iran and offer up his services as interim leader before there can be a what's it called, a referendum on
Mm.
what the Iranian people want to have the people to rule their country as, and I've been following that massively.
Mm.
I don't know if you guys have, but
It just alarms me the more I hear about the Orange Man and what he's doing to the world. I think when we spoke earlier on, you mentioned about if the wall goes across, it's going to stop animals from migrating.
well, yeah, it's another piece of great news this week that there's been another jaguar reported in Arizona. But although they're called the Arizona jaguar, the population is always propped up by new animals migrating up from Mexico. And the last female was shot in 1963. So all the ones, as far as we know, that have come up in the last 60 years have come up from Mexico, have been young males looking for a mate and scouting out new territory. And if that bloody man's wall does come up, it's going to show the end of the Arizona jaguar, the end of the Arizona ocelots, and all sorts of other animals that will that regularly migrate up and cross the Rio Grande up into the southern part of the United States. And I think that would be a serious tragedy. But I am glad to see that Mr. Trump has his what's the word? His exploits, his achievements have been marked in art. And Lee earlier showed me a piece of a statue that I believe is 12 or 14 feet tall in Washington that has been erected. And we don't know who the artist is, but it's been erected to commemorate Mr. Trump and his achievements. And there's him and Jeffrey Epstein recreating that famous scene from the movie um, Titanic, which I think it couldn't happen to a nicer pair of miscreants.
I think it's a statue that's very worthy of the man.
I think so.
Absolutely.
And he says, and the war might end up endangering the Asiatic cheeses in Iran even further. I think it's very likely that it will. And I've always been interested in the very occasional reports there have been lions. The last lion that we know was in Iran was shot in the 1940s. I can't tell you the exact date, but I would recommend anybody look at a book called Wildcat Species of the World by Guggisberg. And in there it's got some fascinating stuff about how the final range of the Asiatic lion completely contracted over only a period of about 30 years. I mean, there were lions in Palestine up until the First World War, and there were lions in Iraq and Iran and Turkmenistan up until the 40s. And you occasionally have reports of them still. I had a report of a lion in Oman from a friend of mine who works for the Sultan of Oman. I don't know if he still does because he's a few years older than me, and I'm past retirement age, so I suspect he's probably retired. But the fact that there are still reports of lions both on the Arabian Peninsula and in Iran and Iraq, I think they're very, very, very hopeful that there might be the occasional tiny population of them still.
That's amazing.
Mm.
What kind of lions?
The Asiatic lion, because there's only one species of lion that is Panthera leo, but there are a number of subspecies, including one which is Panthera leo persica, which used to live in a lot of the Near East and has been hunted to extinction in nearly everywhere. But it was interesting, I think, that in a recent book by I can't remember their names, this is awful, but two Indian naturalists, they cast serious doubt on the population. What's supposed to be the only Asiatic lions left are in a forest called the Gir Forest in India. And a lot of people still believe that they are Asiatic lions. But these people, in a book called Exotic Aliens, actually put the kibosh on that. And it seems that even though there's probably Asiatic lion bloodlines still in there, a lot of the genome there is from the African lion, and that up until relatively recently, within easy historic times, a lot of lions were introduced to India were shipped to India from East Africa, because I didn't know this until I read the book. A lot of the Maharajas used to have sort of the same sort of gladiatorial contests they had in Rome, with fierce warriors going out and killing captive lions in an arena. And a lot of them were imported from India, reported to India from Africa for this very purpose. And so, if there are any purebred Asiatic lions left, the best money is that they're going to be somewhere in the wildest parts of Iran, Afghanistan, Turkmenistan, or one of those countries. It's very unlikely, but the fact that you still get reports occasionally makes it something that I find enduringly fascinating.
Yes, it is.
Mm.
I was just thinking to myself, it's a shame we don't have more Christians to feed them to.
There's nothing I can say to that.
Because you could, because all this lot. When I did my philosophy degree, I did a little bit about religions, and the rise of right wing Christianity in the USA, and the fact that this chap, what was his name, Billy Graham, was responsible for a lot of the thoughts that the presidents had all along the way, and it's become popular amongst the right in the States to do things like they've just overturned Roe v. Wade, the abortion law, so that a lot of people in America now can't get abortions, even if they were taken advantage of or whatever. And it's just becoming evil over there, really evil.
Have you seen the posters? Louis sent me a photograph that he took of a billboard on his way to work in South Carolina, and there was a big poster saying, "Jesus would have been a gun owner."
Oh, God.
And I just want, if I ever go to America, I'm going to go and vandalize as many of those posters as I can, because that, both as a Christian and as a human being, I find absolutely appallingly offensive.
What he's done to humans over there, he's the
Hang on,
people.
are we talking about Jesus or Trump?
Trump. But he's a lot of his supporters see him as the next Messiah, which is quite scary. Some people are saying that this war in Iran is going to bring about the apocalypse.
Oh, fuck off.
Yeah, I know.
No, I wasn't telling you to fuck off. I was telling you, yeah, that's a ridiculous idea.
Ridiculous, isn't it? But
I've never understood, I have to admit, that although the Bible study group that I go to, you go to, and that Isabel has been to as well, run by my brother, although that Bible study group has studied the Revelation of St. John, I think it sounded like he was off his tits when he wrote it.
yes,
It makes no fucking sense at all.
I mean, I don't believe this, by the way, but if he was a time traveler, he might view.
What's more blasphemous than John the Divine being a time traveller or being off his tits on magic mushrooms? I'm not sure which is worse.
Well, I was just thinking, that if he was a time traveler, that he might describe the future as being a bit strange.
Hang on, who the fuck has suggested St. John of Patmos? See, I'm showing how clever I am, so I'm using all his different titles. But who has suggested that St. John of Patmos is a time traveller?
I just did.
Oh, I thought this was some suggestion that some fucker, some other mad fucker had come up with.
No, it was this mad fuckwit here that you're talking to.
Oh,
I only just come up with it though whilst we were talking. I never thought of it before. Yeah, so it's a brand new idea. You heard it first here, ladies and gentlemen.
St. John of Patmos, the man with the eagle on the globe, that he was a time traveller. That's bloody ridiculous. That's absolutely fucking absurd. Well done, Lee. You've just come up. I've been doing these shows with and without Vivian now for about 18 months. And you've just come up with the most stupid suggestion that anybody has ever come up with on the Spooky Show. And by fuck, that's against some stiff competition.
No,
say something sensible, please.
I don't know how to follow that up at all, apart from, who knew?
Who knew?
Who knew?
Oh, God. My girlfriend's gone over to the dark side.
Wasn't there a child called Von Damican?
Oh, he's just died as well.
Mm.
He
Oh,
was a complete tit. I'm sorry, he was a great researcher, and he shed light on the things which the establishment have tried to keep hidden. He was a tit.
he was dead.
He was. I mean, his whole point was that God was an astronaut,
Oh.
and that that Earth had been visited by gods in ancient times in flying saucers, which all happened to look a bit like the oh God, I can't remember his name now. Who's the guy who the big 1947 flying saucer guy, and I can't remember his name. Simon, what was the name of the guy who did the famous 1947 contactee? And I cannot for the life of me remember his name.
Mm.
George Adamski. They all looked like George Adamski's flying saucers, but it turned out, and he even admitted it, that quite a lot of the stuff in some of his books, which sold in decreasing quantities. The first one, Chariots of the Gods, sold a lot, and by the time it got down to Half-Witted Bollocks of the Gods, 25 books later, they were selling practically nothing, and they went down a distribution chart like that. But he admitted that he made quite a lot of it up, and he pretended that he'd been to places that he'd never been. And
Ah,
even when he did go to some places, some of the stuff that he said, he just jumped, he put two and two together and added up to 666 and talked complete nonsense and jumped to ridiculous conclusions. For example, there are some caves in Puerto Rico where they do have on the walls prehistoric carvings of what look like a cross-barreled crop circle, or if you like, if you would, a flying saucer. And I was in those caves 28 years ago, and I saw those carvings. And then next to those carvings, I saw what the picture was really of. There's a large snail called Coracola, coracola, which is found both in and out of the caves in Puerto Rico, and they are edible. And I bet you that the big carving on the wall was actually a carving of a snail, and that there'd probably been a wicker basket or something underneath. And it was saying, when you go out into the forest and collect snails, you put them in here because this is going to be our lunch. It's not a flying saucer, it's a fucking snail.
Ah.
And to prove that,
Mm.
I've tried twice. I've brought them back to England twice, and I managed to keep them alive for a couple of years, but I didn't manage to breed them. But Guinevere, God bless her, is going to try, if I can get hold of some more, she's going to try and breed them. Then we're going to be able to sell them to exotic pet enthusiasts to prove, hey, this is Eric von Daniken's flying saucer, and you can buy them for £5 each and keep them in a fish tank in the corner of your bedroom.
oh, okay, that's pretty cool.
Which I think is quite interesting.
Was,
Absolutely.
Hang
was
on, how did we get onto Eric? Oh, yeah, you were saying about Eric von Daniken. Sorry, I got
just with my
dragging the
revelation
bugger off.
thing, I was just thinking it might be. Was he the same, the lizard chap? No,
That's David Icke.
that's David Icke, isn't
Mm.
it? Yes.
I've never met David Icke. I've been in the same room as him, but I haven't actually met him properly. I know somebody who used to work for him, and apparently he's a really, really, really sweet, down to earth guy. I've always thought he was batshit insane, but according to people who know him, he's a really, really sweet man. So I suppose you can be sweet and batshit insane at the same time.
I'm
Well,
batshit insane. Quite sweet.
Lee's very sweet. But he's just come up with the idea that St. John the Divine was a fucking time traveller. And he got his own TARDIS, probably.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
it makes more sense than yeah.
well, if you think of it, does that mean that when St. John talked about the Whore of Babylon flying through the sky, he was actually talking about a two-spirit penguin?
Yep,
Yeah.
it could be a two-spirit penguin. It could be a Chinook helicopter.
It could be a Chinook. Oh, fucking hell. I hope. Look, I always like it. We have the more people who watch this show, the better. But I'm afraid that there are going to be people out there who believe Lee and will start worshipping him as the avatar of a new consciousness. Teach us, O Lee! Teach us about how the whore of Babylon is a penguin in a helicopter. Oh, please, O Lee, deliver us.
Well, I yes. Actually, I could do that for Bible study if you like. We could talk about the way that Revelation's really about time travel.
Oh, fuck no. I can't, because then Daisy will probably start agreeing with you. And then, no. I forbid
No,
it.
no.
And
Good
Nico
idea.
said
No.
he met David Icke when he worked at Wembley. Nice guy. Yeah, I've heard he's really sweet. But then again, I used to know somebody who was one of the most feared ex-football hooligans in Britain, who then got co-opted, or rather blackmailed, into working for MI5. And he was one of the nicest guys you could meet.
Hmm.
And it's a mate of mine the complete and utter lowlife, used to run a brothel in New Zealand. And he's an absolute pocket, so. But this show is rapidly becoming into weirdos John Downes knows.
Gosh, no.
Well, it's got a weirdo John Downes is in love with, and a weirdo that John Downes has known for many years. So,
Yes.
by the way, this is the one that I'm in love with, Isabel.
I was going to
I
say, am
don't
I the
tell you.
weirdo?
Not me.
What? You are a fucking weirdo.
Hey, why am I a weirdo?
Going out with me, for one thing, that's pretty
Well,
weird.
just thought I got good taste.
You have got very
Oh,
good.
I love you.
Hey, smooth, eh? Smooth.
You are fucking smooth. Thomas from Denmark finds David Icke quite lucid on politics as long as he avoids the alien lizards, the moon being a spaceship, COVID-19 being connected to 5G internet connections and the like.
Yeah.
Well, I do know somebody who got arrested for trying to smash up a 5G pylon thing, believing that it was causing COVID, which I think is it's absolute nonsense. But it just shows the caliber of people I know, I think.
COVID, yes, COVID. It was. It's still around actually, and it can still kill
Oh, yeah.
people, and it's still dangerous.
I had it
It
a
is.
year or so ago.
Get inoculated, people.
I do. I do, except they won't inoculate me. This is the first year I've not been inoculated because the government no longer gives inoculations to the under 74s or something.
You should be able to get one being with your other complaints.
No, apparently the fact I'm diabetic, mad, grossly overweight, and have a history of all sorts of other weirdness, and I co-present this show does not get me free COVID injections.
Oh, that's not good. I was going to mention about seeing he was on the Spooky Show about we've got a local legend here called Molly Lee, and she was a witch, and her grave is north to south rather than east to west. because the legend goes that she her raven, she had a pet raven, and she was just she'd fallen out with the local vicar, and the local vicar put word around that she was a witch to get rid of her, really, because people were going to her to get things rather than. Oh,
No, carry on. I was just putting that up so I wouldn't forget to.
all right, yes. And so she's meant to. A grave is still in Stoke-on-Trent, where I am at the moment, and it was 17. The awkwardly named goth rock band Lesbian Bed Death did a song about Molly Lee that I know from, and the lyrics mention her pet raven. Yes, actually, funnily enough, I was visited by a raven.
I thought you were going to be saying you were visited by some lesbian bed death. Okay, carry on. Sorry.
So
I
I was
will shut
visited
up.
by
I
a
will.
raven yesterday. I sent you a picture, didn't I?
Yeah, lovely picture.
Yeah,
Enormous creatures.
they are absolutely incredible. So, are you into this lesbian goth rock band Bed Death by
That's Simone.
Simon? Are you into the lesbian Bed Death song?
I have no. I've never heard of lesbian.
In bed,
Isabel,
no.
are you into? Are you into lesbian bed death?
I've not heard the music.
I'm just trying to work out how you would have a lesbian bed death. Would they
That's simple.
sit on
You
your
have two
face and
lesbians
suffocate
in
you?
bed, and one of them
Have to.
dies. Simple,
Oh yes.
I think.
I wonder the lesbian what comes there. Yeah.
Mm,
Oh, interesting.
don't know.
Simon, are you there? I think we scared Simon away, or I have.
No, I don't think so.
Mm,
I'm just waiting for
Simone.
Simone. But he just said also that outside the conspiracy theories, Ike just sounds like a typical 60s, 70s new left activist for talking politics. Yeah, he sounds like Jerry Rubin or one of them.
Ah, the band name refers to an urban legend about lesbian couples losing their sex drive with age.
Oh.
Uh,
Mm.
you lose everything with age, I found.
Fuck off, you're 16 years younger than me.
Old.
You're not old,
No,
you're 50. That's not fucking old.
that's not old.
That's not old.
I need to.
I'm 67 this year.
Happy birthday. When's your birthday?
August the 22nd, and I intend to carry on growing old disgracefully.
You have to be disgraceful, don't you?
Well, I do my
Have to.
best to be disgraceful.
Exactly.
So, actually, going about animals, I was had another little.
How do you get from lesbian
Should be in bed death to
talking
animals.
about animals?
Well, the raven. We were talking about
Oh
the
yeah,
raven.
okay, Raven. I get it. I get it. Yeah,
It's all there. Woodley Waddle.
it all makes perfect sense, Lee. My boy.
It does in my head anyway. But Terry Pratchett, he's got a character called Granny Weatherwax. Granny Weatherwax does a thing called borrowing. It's something that I've done in the past, and it's about you send your mind outwards.
Hmm.
And what she does is in the story, she sends her mind out to various creatures, and she sees the world through the eyes of those various creatures. Now, I don't know whether that's spooky or not, but it's certainly interesting.
Absolutely.
The idea that she in the story she can blend her psyche with another psyche, and
Yeah.
if you can, and also I was thinking about what you said about your orbs,
Hmm.
and I think that orbs are to do with fairies or fae rather than ghosts, in my opinion.
Oh, okay.
I could be wrong. I think some of them are lights flashes on the camera and bits of dust as well.
Yeah.
Not the ones that people actually see.
But the ones that you see, I
Mm.
think there's a place called Threepwood near to me, which I believe has got fairies in it. I've sensed fairies quite a few times. I've never seen them. I have seen orbs,
Yeah.
and I do think that they are part of the fae. I don't know what Jonathan thinks or Izzy thinks.
Well, it's certainly something to contemplate about because orbs are just a spirit. So if you feel that fairies are spirit like and that ghosts are obviously spirits, then obviously the orbs then could be related to both. It's just because I associated them to the ghosts I was seeing and see.
I
Yeah.
no, I think that um, I don't know whether they're a cryptoid.
Hmm.
No, they're not cryptids. Cryptids are flesh and blood animals. And whatever fairies are, they're not animals. They are
Hmm.
something.
I think Lee is a fairy. Hmm. Well, you might be right there.
I was wondering how you were going to answer that. That's why I put it up on the screen. I wanted to see what your answer would be.
Oh, you're talking about the fae, are you? When you say that, asking if you think that I'm a fairy, you think that I'm ethereal.
Lee, dear boy, I love you dearly. Oh, yes, you are apparently a happy and delightful fairy. Well, I'd go along with that.
Thank you, Lorenzo. That's very
Uh,
kind of you. I
you
did, didn't
walked into
I?
that one, LOL. Yes, he certainly did.
I generally walk into things. It's walking out that's a problem.
I used to find that about pubs, but my late wife used to believed in fairies.
Yes, I think there's a lot of fiction on fairies. The one I think of is Peter Pan, the most famous, maybe.
Hmm.
Um,
Think about.
Oh,
and
come on, Tinkerbell is Peter Pan
Hmm.
is the sexiest piece of children's literature ever. It's got three of the sexiest female characters. Wendy, Tinkerbell, and Tiger Lily are all sex on
Hmm.
a fucking stick.
and as well, Peter Pan, Simone is
Is
is a
uh,
all the works go to Great Ormond Street Hospital, which is fantastic.
and as Simone
Hmm.
said, Peter Pan is literally named after a consistently horny ancient Greek deity.
Which one?
Pan, Eo Pan, Eo Pan, Pan, Pan,
Ah,
Eo
Pan.
Pan, Eo
Pan
Pan,
is
Eo Pan, Pan, Pan.
yeah, of course, Pan. Sorry.
At night at sea in a thunderstorm, on the very night that Christ was born, a voice came out from overhead, said, "Listen, mortals, Pan is dead."
I'm quite interested in the fact that a lot of um, ancient sites in England, and maybe we can talk about this at another point, but are being destroyed by Christianity and the Christians march across England. Um, like Saturnalia and a lot of festivals that were taken over by the Christians, and I think that's quite interesting. And I think that we've lost our connection to the earth.
Oh, very much so. And it's like we're as a society we've become completely divorced from the reality of the natural world as well.
I sat talking with a chap the other day, and although he was talking to me, his whole time was on the phone. So he was texting whilst chatting with me, and I think this is just become the norm. And I think it's quite sad. I think it's sad that libraries are closing down all over the place. People don't just read anymore.
Libraries are closing down, but there are more and more vape shops
Yeah,
Hmm. It's sad, isn't it?
and tattoo parlors.
very.
So, Vivian, wherever you are, we are all missing you. And hello.
Yes, I hope you're going to watch this, Vivian, to show that we can see when we're all sober, can actually present a show rather well. Have you ever read the books of In fact, this is question is to you as well, Simon. Have you ever read the books of Margaret Murray? Because she wrote a book called The Witch Cult in Ancient Europe, in which she basically said that the primordial religion of Europe was a worship of the mother goddess Diana and the father goddess god Pan, and that Pan and Diana were the two primordial gods of the Europeans.
I haven't, no.
Mhm.
I would. Most people these days think she talks shit. She used to think that there was. She wrote this book that carried out. She wrote these three books: The God of the Witches, The Witch Cult in Ancient Europe, and The Divine King in England. And The Divine King in England suggested that regularly, every 100 years or so, a member of the royal family would be sacrificed to the ancient gods. And I always thought it was a fascinating idea. My mother told me about this, that for example, that it she hypothesized that William Rufus, who was shot in a hunting accident in the New Forest, that's William II, in 1200, 1200 and something, was no 1100 and something, was one of his sacrifices. But I always thought it really was fairly bollocks until in 1997 a woman named after Diana, the Queen of the Chase, was killed on a ley line in weird circumstances on the last day of summer.
Gosh.
And if you think of the death of Princess Diana in those terms, fucking hell, Margaret, you were spot on. So I would recommend people read those books. They are very, very interesting.
Can you type the name of the author? Is that possible so I can
Uh,
write it down? Margaret
Margaret Murray, Murray.
Margaret
There are three books. I don't know if there's. I'm sure you can probably get them online for free because she's largely discredited by archaeologists now. But
British Egyptologist and archaeologist.
yeah, her.
She's got a quite a young. It's weird. She's got a young and an old face at the same time.
I recommend that you read them because I think they're very, very interesting books, even if.
So she was
Yeah,
trained as a
now
nurse.
Simon says Margaret Murray's books sound like they might still have literary value despite not fitting the standards of traditional science, like Carlos Castaneda and Robert Graves. Carlos Castaneda, Christ, that's a weird one. I always thought, right at the beginning, before I actually took any psychedelic drugs, I thought when I did, I would go on a Castaneda type trip. And I didn't. I found myself dancing like a nut job listening to the first Duran Duran album, and never ever had any spirit. I never had any spiritual awakening from magic mushrooms or acid, or the one time took peyote, either that. But Carlos Castaneda's books, even though he was really fucking weird, when he died, his three major acolytes all disappeared under mysterious circumstances, and it's very, very weird.
Uh,
And the Carlos Castaneda books have got great literary merit, whether or not it actually happened or not. He he met his spirit guide, who was supposed to be a ancient Mexican shaman called Don Juan.
Don Juan,
Yes,
as
that
in
only means Sir John. Juan is just Spanish for John. It doesn't necessarily mean it doesn't mean the novel of Don Juan the Great Lover or the album by. What the hell was that?
somebody trying to ring me. Don't worry, I turned it off. Hey
No, that
Siri,
scared the
you do
shit
not
out
disturb.
of me. Talking about spiritual awakenings, I'd come thinking.
Stop it. So, 1 second.
And Simon says in modern day Peru, the people who would become Jehovah's Witnesses or Hare Krishnas elsewhere in the world became Carlos Castaneda fans instead. Things can have artistic value without having scientific value. Perhaps the two are in some context mutually exclusive, or even interchangeable.
Hmm.
God, we're
Yes.
getting, God, we're getting esoteric tonight, aren't we?
Nay, we're on it.
Wow.
Yeah,
I am.
we're on it like a shaman on chips. I know that fact about Castaneda's present day fan base from a Peruvian author named Salvatore Beteta, whose work I've translated for a Danish small press I work for. Well done. Fantastic.
Oh, that's
That's
pretty
brilliant.
cool.
That is really, really, really good, Simon. I'm very impressed. I'm
It
almost
is.
tempted to get you to translate them into English as well so we can put them out. Are they available in English? I'm just putting up Simon's last. This is very strange having a conversation both with you three and with Simon and others in the
Yeah.
general chat as well.
It's very nice, isn't it?
What I like about this show is we can go Iranian from an Iranian critically endangered cat to Donald Trump to David Icke to Carlos Castaneda to Lee being a fairy and all these other things. We interchangeably just jump from one thing to another. Yes, please, Simon, I'd like that a lot. Simon, by the way, has just offered to send me, just in case you guys don't know what I'm talking about, send me some of Potato's works in English in PDF form. I'd be very interested to read them.
It's
I'm an
very
insanely voracious reader and I read all sorts of peculiar things. I've
ah.
just finished reading the autobiography of James Brown, not the singer, the
Oh.
publisher who published Loaded and then various other magazines, bought up Fortune Times, and then ran a fanzine for Leeds United fans. And I'll send it. How can I do this? I think this is going to come up 3 times, probably. Sheffield John at.
What happened to the I used to really like a magazine called the Weekly World News. It was full of nonsense, but it was so much fun.
Yeah, it was complete bollocks, but it was fun, wasn't it?
It was real fun, yes. And I mean, 20 years ago, you could expect Trump to appear in the Weekly World News as being somebody that that they might have made up, and now he's real.
Of you.
He's real.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing I find interesting. Doc Shields once said to me that the idea of the world as being what people call normal is complete and utter bollocks. That the world is far weirder than anybody, not just than anybody imagines, but than anyone's prepared to admit. Because if you look around, the world doesn't make sense. That's why I put silly bits of surreal bollocks into on the track. It's because I'm trying to highlight the fact that the world doesn't make sense.
It
It's
doesn't.
not the safer three
Oh.
dimensional place that everybody thinks it is. It's something completely and utterly wild, unexplored, and inexplicable, which I think is great.
It is. We were so before the show started, we were talking a little bit about Quentin Crisp, and he said that none of his friends talked to him about the weather. And
That makes sense. Yeah, I
yeah,
think so.
yeah, and these and none of my friends do either. And we need people. There's so many. I was at the bus stop the other day, and I saw somebody who I used to work with, and she was visibly not looking very well. So I asked her how she was, and she started talking to me about the bloody weather. And so I walked away. So that's
Uh,
what I do. I just walked away because life's too short, isn't it? There's so much
Mhm.
richness in the world that we live in, so much joy, so much, not joy, sadness, joy, a menagerie of different things that are happening in the world. And the world is weird. And that's what's great about it.
yeah, I agree totally. And so many people think that the world is safe and sensible, and bloody isn't. Now we've got, hang on a second, Lorenzo. Science doesn't know everything. There's many things to discover, e.g., fairies. Your profession fully supports that, John. Hang on, which of my professions? The only thing I'm qualified in is as a nurse, and I haven't practiced that in 40 years. Profession as cryptozoologist, profession as rock music archaeologist, or profession as general ne'er-do-belt, well, who hangs her out on podcasts talking bollocks, or all three, probably all three. And Simon says, in the Satanic Bible, Anton LaVey argued for magic, demons, angels, etc., just being part of the physical world science didn't understand yet. Well, I agree totally. But did you know Anton LaVey, you can see him on the inside of the gatefold sleeve of the Eagles Hotel California? It's supposed to show the inside of a hotel in California, and at the bottom of this big staircase, there's a shadowy figure, and um, that is Anton LaVey. And Lorenzo says, "Not the pole dancing, John. Sorry, secret's out. Can you imagine me fucking pole dancing? Isabel, can you imagine me pole dancing?
Lorenzo, I asked
Well,
Mealy.
what have you done? My girlfriend's disappeared. She's gone black now. Because that's all your fault, Lorenzo.
Lorenzo, I have to ask you, do you look like your avatar? Because if you do, I'm very single.
You're right, he is a fucking fairy. Teresa,
Uh,
hang on. What's happened?
where's Isabel gone?
I don't know. Lorenzo says, "Oh dear, my powers have a habit of doing that." And Simon, he looks more like a fairy. And
Oh, I see.
the V in the Hotel California in the sleeve sounds like a homage to Aleister Crowley being on the cover of Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. Yes, a lot of people don't know that, but I've always thought it's rather cool that he's there.
um, is he on the? I didn't know that.
Yeah, you can see Aleister Crowley, and for a brief time you could see Hitler as well, but he got removed. And Gandhi was removed because they were afraid it would offend the Indian market. And here, what happened then? You there? Can you hear us? Is Riz? Hello?
Hi.
Oh, yeah, you can hear.
Hello.
That's good. So you disappeared as soon as Lorenzo suggested I was a pole dancer. You went suddenly black and disappeared.
I
And that,
know, I know. Well, it's that silly time, innit? You know how it is.
yeah, I just saw suddenly. Oh God, Lorenzo's managed to break up my relationship with my girlfriend because she thinks I'm a
Pole
pole
dancing.
dancer. So fuck off, Lorenzo. But no, 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 no. I don't think Isabel would have minded if I was a pole dancer.
No, no. I can come and chuck some dollars at you.
Now
Pole.
that sounds like a good idea. Shall I erect a pole in the middle of the sitting room? And I'll
Like
have
some
to wear a
music and
posing pouch, and you'll have to, yeah. Okay, this is just getting particularly revolting thoughts now. Changing subjects. That shows how, yes, just blame Lorenzo again. We always do, Lorenzo, my dear boy. We always do. And Simone says that shows how mainstream accepted magic and occultism were in the 60s and 70s. Well, did you know that in 1972 there was a French pop singer called Richard Chanfray, and I'm sure I pronounced that wrong. Richard Chanfray, who claimed to be the Count de Saint, what's his name? The Count de Saint Germain. He claimed to be the Count de Saint Germain, and did a TV show, which it was on YouTube, and it isn't there anymore, in which he claimed to have transmuted lead to gold live on French TV.
Oh.
And that's a piece of interesting bollocks for you all.
Okay.
And Simon says you also saw mainstream science taking a surprising level of interest in Fortean disciplines like parapsychology, ufology, etc. back then as well.
Well,
Well, I think, yeah. I mean, the idea of science is to peer research to research something and then prove it that try to disprove the thing that they are testing, isn't it? I believe.
Exactly. And it's to use experiments to prove or disprove hypotheses. That's what science is. And
Yeah.
that's what, when I say I am a scientist, I am a scientist because I use experimental techniques to try to prove or disprove hypotheses. It doesn't mean when I say I'm a scientist, I haven't got a degree in something clever. I don't own a white coat, and I do have a white jacket, but Isabel won't let me wear it. But
no.
why don't you like my white jacket?
I think we've had this discussion.
Yeah, but not live on television.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I just don't think white jackets. So I don't know. It's just not it.
Is it like a white fur coat that you wear, like in Narnia?
No, but I
That'd
know a
look
girl.
cool.
I know a girl with a purple fur coat.
Oh,
Oh.
I thought it was burgundy.
Oh, I don't. My first wife always got angry with me that all the different colours that were a mixture of red and blue, I never got any of them right. I
Oh,
didn't know the
right.
difference between purple and light,
Hmm,
purple and burgundy and wine and all these other differenty things. I don't know what it is.
I don't know. I don't know what
Burgundy
it
is.
is about that white coat anyway. I'm
You
not
might
into it.
simply have color blindness.
No, I'm just a twat who doesn't know the differences.
Ah, fair enough. Here's a philosophical question for you. How do you know the color I see is the same purple as the color that you see?
I'm sure it isn't. I'm
Mm,
sure that with the way that reality tunnels work, I'm absolutely certain that everything in the universe that I see is going to be subtly different from everything in the universe that you see, or everything in the universe that Lizzie, Izzy. See, I'm
Is-
getting mixed up. That
Isabel.
Isabel sees. She always says, "Why don't I call her Izzy?" But that's exactly why, because I get Izzy and Lizzie mixed up.
Well,
Ah, that's
And
easy.
although I love both of them very much, I don't really want to mix up my adopted daughter with my beautiful girlfriend, who I love. Well, I love them both dearly, but in different ways.
mm,
And Simone says, "Oh, I don't know that French pop singer, but I do know that before Rael became France's equivalent to George Adamski, he was a moderately successful pop singer under the stage name Claude Seller. I didn't know that. Listen to a couple of Claude Seller songs earlier this evening, as a matter of fact, on YouTube. Commentators usually point out he would later be known as UFO prophet Rael. I
mm.
didn't know that at all. I've
Ah,
had a few not run-ins, encounters with Ray aliens at usually at concerts in the late 80s when they still used to hand out their leaflets at the sort of hippie end of the concerts, like people from Gong and Hawkwind and that. But I don't really know much about them. I've read a couple of their leaflets, but I had no idea that he was in the music scene. We've got 8 minutes left, guys.
Mm.
I
How did
was
you? Sorry, Lee.
I spent my weekend doing various trainings, and I was listening to "So Long and Thanks for All the Fish."
Oh yeah, the Divine Comedy.
Yeah, and he was Douglas Adams was saying that his oh, the reason why he wrote "The Restaurant at the End of the Universe" was because of the Procol Harum track called "Hotel Babylon." I think it's called Procol Harum.
I don't know that.
You know, the one that sing "The White Shade of Pale."
Yeah, I know who Procol
Mm.
Harum were.
Hold on, Procol Harum. Give me a minute. I'm going to make sure. Hitchhikers Guide. Uh, yes, Grand Hotel.
Oh, I know Grand
Yeah,
Hotel.
yeah.
Yeah.
So the song Grand Hotel, in the middle of it, there's like this big orchestral thing that comes out of nowhere, he says. And he said that in that bit, he couldn't, he imagined something great and big was happening. And he thought, well, the end of the universe. And that's where he wrote the restaurant at the end of the universe from
Oh,
listening
wow.
from
I
listening to
always think
that.
that as well about the orchestral bit in the middle of The Electrician by Scott Walker.
I've
Yeah.
not heard that.
Oh, it's the Walker Brothers album Night Flights,
Night
and
Flights.
it's on there, and it's probably because that's one of the big things Izzy and I have got in common. We're both big Scott Walker fans, but The Electrician's probably my favourite of his songs forever, and that that orchestral bit which goes
Mm.
swirls upwards. I always think that's so grand and so magnificent. Something really strange is happening there.
Yeah.
And then
Uh,
I found out that the song's about CIA funded torturers in the South American Republic, which I
No.
wouldn't have got from the words.
No.
well, I didn't realise that the song Golden Brown was about drugs.
That's about smack.
Yeah, I didn't know that until recently because when it was out when I was a kid. I really liked the harpsichord bit in it, dun 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 dun. Um, yeah,
And it's a very strange time signature.
it is, isn't it?
It's something odd like 16/9 or something. It's one of the weirdest time signatures that a hit single's ever been in because most hit singles are four to the floor, one, two, three, four, boom, tsh, boom, boom. And this one was one of the weirdest
Mm.
ones.
Apparently, it alternates between 3/4 time and 4/4 time, but it also alternates between 13/8 and 13/4.
Good God, I didn't know that.
I've just
And
looked it up.
Simon says, I wouldn't be surprised if Rael was a huge fan of Magma. Now that we're at it, Magma, fantastically peculiar French progressive rock band who made up their own language, which I believe they claimed that it means that they channeled it from somebody up in one of the stars had sent it down to them. But their songs were all written in this peculiar language which only they could understand, which is pretty far out.
Yeah.
But then again, I wonder if he was also a fan, if we're carrying on this thing, of Sun Ra. Has any of you guys heard of Sun Ra?
Sun Ra the God.
No, Sun Ra, the jazz musician,
No.
whose
Mm.
real name, I believe, was Herbert Blount. He changed his name to Sun Ra, claimed that he came from Saturn, and made some of the most peculiar records ever to be.
Oh, he's got a hat like yours.
Gee.
Which well, Sun Ra, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I like the look of him. Can we have him on the show?
He's been dead for years.
Well, it is a
Mm.
spooky show.
Well, yeah. Then what we're going to have to do then? Going to have to get a medium on there so we'd interview. Well, hi, Sun
Wow.
Ra. It's great to have you on the show. Boom, boom, boom.
Mm.
I'm gonna
I'll
have a
get
look.
me Ouija board out.
Yeah.
Have you got a Ouija board?
I have.
Yeah. Karina had several. I don't know what happened to them. I think Olivia took all Karina's occult stuff. I can't
Wow.
find a crystal ball either, which is a pity.
Mm.
Because I would have liked the crystal ball, but I'll have to buy myself one day.
Yeah.
But it's been an interesting show. Oh Lord, more from Simon. Simon, you're running on gas tonight. I recently wrote an article for Hit Denmark about Prophet Olsen, the 60s and 70s era UFO contactee in my country who basically looked like a white sun ra. That's pretty cool.
That's cool.
I like this show because we can go from the most peculiar set
Mm.
of subjects and we do it seamlessly. We do.
Yeah.
Isabel, what have you got on your head? Are you wearing.
A pillow.
No.
Mm. Nothing on my head.
Put your head back. Oh, do you
Me
see you've got
cover.
that thing with the two red dots?
Yeah. Did it look
Oh
like
yeah.
somebody was watching over
That
me?
looked as you got some sort of weird ceremonial hat on.
No, no.
It just shows that I haven't
It's
eaten
just a
yet. My
pattern.
blood sugar's probably uh what's the word? Troughing.
Ah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are at the end of another show. I want to say a big thank you to you all. First of all of you in the audience who have sat through this and joined in and who are as much a part of the show as we are. And I want to thank Lee and Isabel for jumping into the breach at the last minute. You are all darlings, and I want to apologise to dear Vivian and say I do hope, my love, that you're back with us next week and you're feeling better. And I hope we haven't let you down, because I think we've done quite well this. I think it was a rather good episode. So, good night, boys and girls. Bye bye, and I will see you all very soon. Time to go home, time to go home from your simply spooky adrenaline ride. Time to go home, time to go home, even if you're terrified. Goodbye. Time to go home, time to go home. Vivian and her weird friends are all going home. Time to go home, time to go home. Vivian is waving goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.